Okay. If your family suffers from, any one of your family suffers from brain disorder, um, such as Alzheimer, autism, epilepsy or seizure, Parkinson's disease, I sincerely hope that you take your time to understand what I'm about to say. You might have to watch it twice, but I think it's very imperative, it's very important that you finish this video. It's going to be a long video because I'm going to tell you my own story and how I think, yes, there is a cure, but I'm going to just tell you again, according to the same thing with the previous video that I recorded. You're not going to find the answer in the medical world, and you will never find the answer in the medical world, especially, I'm sorry, in the US, maybe Canada also as well, or some of the Western or European countries. That's why you heard stories like people go to Asia or they go to Mexico for all kinds of different treatment, because there's just too much profit involved, and you are not going to find the correct answer. So I'm going to tell you my own story. I have a son that suffers from epilepsy, and he used to, and let me emphasize, he used to have 3 to 4 seizures per week. At this point, he's down to 1 seizure every 2 weeks. Okay, so it takes us 1 year, about 1 year to, we could have achieved it sooner, but it takes us 1 year to achieve that result. So this video I'm going to talk about brain health. Okay, I know if any one of you or your family suffers from these 4 diseases, it's just really dreadful. I mean, it's awful that you see your own son, just all of a sudden go unconscious and fall down to the ground, or just the medication that he has to be on because of this disease, or I would imagine people with Alzheimer and Parkinson's. It's just a dreadful thing, and you don't know when it's going to end, right? So let me tell you my story. We used to live in US and then we came back to Taiwan as a missionary. Our son have epilepsy, and when we're back, of course we are taken care of by the healthcare system here, and he's on medication, but he never had grand mal seizure back in US, but all of a sudden, maybe it's an environmental change or the food change, I don't know what it is, he started to have grand mal seizure. But before that, we were introduced to a doctor in central part of Taiwan, and by a friend with autistic kid. Okay, his son suffers from autism, and she told me that because of this Dr. Wang in Taichung, they are seeing improvement, and they are seeing great result, and she also told me that so far anyone with Alzheimer, Parkinson, epilepsy, seizure, and autism, even ADHD, so far he hasn't failed anyone yet. So I was curious by the statement, but at that time I just thought we went through so many doctors in US, and we went through a couple of them in Taiwan, and what can this doctor really do, so I really didn't, I take down the information, I know how to contact him, but I never took the call until one day my son had grand mal seizure. I said, okay, that's it, let's just give it a try, let's go see him and see what he has to say. And out of our surprise, our first visit, he takes 2 to 3 hours to answer every questions that we have, and very knowledgeable, and he tells us the reason why it works. And most of the doctor that we prior to this doctor, we asked them what caused epilepsy, right? And they say they don't know, and then they give us all these reasons that they don't know. Okay, and I'm like, you spent so many years in the medical school and you don't know what caused this disease, and I'm thinking, like, why do you go to school, right? But later on I find out that they can never find the answer, because all the answers that they have are given. They are given by pharmaceutical companies, medical companies, that keeps them uninformed, so that the issue is never resolved, and so then the pharmaceutical company can continue to make drugs that controls people. They don't cure people, they just want to control them for as long as they can. That's how they make profit, unfortunately. But anyway, we decided to go ahead and start the treatment. But before the treatment, he took a blood sample, hair sample, and urine sample to test exactly what is in his body, right? What is he too much of? Is he, and what is he lack of? Okay, and so we, based on the test, we found that he has too much mercury and also plastic in his body, in his system, which really surprised us. So we got on the treatment to get rid of those toxins, and also they run another test. It's called a food allergic test, I guess, and they test 100 some food, and out of them there are a dozen of food that he can touch, and he should remove all that from his diet. That includes dairy, includes egg, cucumber, and sesame oil, and a few other things, kiwis. Okay, so we follow the diet diligently, and we thought we follow it diligently until we realized that he's still having seizure. It reduced the amount of episode that he has, but for a long time we still can't figure out why he's having like 1 a week. But he already went down from 3 to 4 a week down to 1 a week, right? And we can never achieve beyond that. And we found that the Chinese diet, they put many times when we go out to restaurant, they put sesame oil, which is something that we cannot see. Everything that we can see, we eliminate them. But those that we cannot see for a while, we didn't notice. And so now every time we go to a restaurant, we would ask, is there sesame oil being added onto this? Is this being added onto this? And so we begin to notice, paying attention to things that we cannot see. And then he started to improve again. So he's down to maybe 1 episode every 2 weeks, and we believe he's very much on the way to total recovery. We don't know how much longer it would take, but it works. So I'm very convinced how whatever this doctor did is doing the right thing. And we also found out what he is short of in his diet, and we begin to add that back to his diet, and then he's doing really well. And the doctor told us that the treatment for Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer, autism, the treatment is all the same, because what he is really trying to do is to stop all the inflammation. Okay, so in all these 4 diseases are caused by inflammation. So all he had to do is to stop or get rid of the toxins which cause inflammation too. But also the food, and he says everybody's genetic makeup is different. Some are some different food for different people, they just cause inflammation. Like for me, I did the test too, but I'm surprised that I am allergic, you can say, or I'm surprised that pineapple and ginger causes inflammation in my body. So everybody is different, and you have to run a test to figure out what are the foods that causes you inflammation. But if you can fly over to Taiwan to run that test, at least eliminate immediately all the dairy product, cheese, milk, because that's very often people have reaction, or these type of product or food cause inflammation in most people. And so even if you can't fly over to Taiwan, start to eliminate all the dairies and see how that would help. And so we see that now even the medical world kind of know that inflammation causes all these type of diseases, neurological disease, which are the 4 diseases that I mentioned, but Alzheimer disease, all these can be caused by inflammation. And what causes inflammation, okay, are the toxins and also the food that you shouldn't touch, and you have to figure out what are those, okay. And many people come up with anti-inflammation products, and you can see on the market there are like cactus juice or all kinds of juice that try to reduce inflammation, but that's not really the answer, okay. Because what those products are trying to do is that after you have inflammation, they try to eliminate it, or they try to press it down. But that's not the real answer. The real answer is create a no inflammation environment in your body. What you should do is do not allow inflammation to happen in the first place. Our body has the ability, according to Dr. Huang, which is the one that we go and see, according to what he says, is that our body has the ability to heal itself if you just stop inflammation, if you just stop toxins from going into your body, if you would just stop intaking those food that causes you inflammation, okay. And we find out that the patients that come to see him are all kinds of problems, not just brain issue. I've seen people come to him with cancer, diabetic, and cardiovascular. Oh my gosh, my pastor, who used to walk for 5 minutes and he had to take a break and take a breath, but after 1 week of treatment from him, he's able to walk 90 minutes straight, non-stop, and he can still keep going. And also all kinds of different diseases. I see people's muscle that's frozen, they can't move, or I see people all of a sudden losing hairs, and just all kinds of different hard to treat disease. They come to him and there's answer, and they get well, but he told me that if you got cancer, please don't come to him if the doctor say you only have 2 to 3 months to live. That doesn't allow him enough time to reverse the cancer. But if the doctor say you got a good 6 months, that's okay. But just don't come to him at a very end stage, right? So I'm putting this information out there, and if you want to get a hold of me, subscribe, or send me a message from here. I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you got a son or got a relative like me that has epilepsy, especially, you can email me and just ask more questions. I would be happy to help, because I know how much you suffer. I mean, it's just really bad to see your son having a seizure and you're not able to do anything about it, and nobody has the answer, but I believe I've found the answer, and I'm very happy that I can share this info. Maybe someone can be helped, and so God bless.